Islam allows slavery. Slavery is something that has been there before, years, centuries, thousands of years before the Quran came. Also, the idea of slavery in Islam is not the Western slavery where you can take a free man, bring him to your country and start flogging him, putting him in zoos and all that. No, in fact, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, on the day of resurrection, I will be against three people. And one of those people, he says, is the one who takes a free man and sells him. In Islam, the only way a person can become a slave, quote unquote, is through war. So they're just prisoners of war, or we call them milk al-yamin. When you go to war and you win a war, you take the people there as captives, as prisoners of war. And this only applies to the men and women who came with the army. You know, the people who were literally coming to kill you. And now I'm going to tell you what Islam teaches us to do with milk al-yamin, how to treat these prisoners of war. Rasulullah says, these people are your brothers which Allah has put under your control. He said, feed them from the food that you eat, clothe them from the clothes that you wear, and do not overburden them with work so that they become overwhelmed. And if you do overburden them, then you have to help them. Rasulullah, he said, don't hit a slave. And if you do hit a slave, you have to free him. Rasulullah says, whoever accuses a slave of something when he is innocent, he will be flogged on the day of judgment. In Islam, slaves are allowed to work to pay for their freedom. And it doesn't stop there. In fact, Allah tells us in the Quran to free milk al-yamin, to free slaves, that this is a good deed. Allah tells us that in certain situations, this can be an expiation for your sin. Freeing slaves could also be a means to fulfill your zakah. So this is the concept of slavery in Islam. Is this what the Americans and the Europeans did when they came to our country and they took our people back to their country and did whatever with them? If that is what we understand by slavery, then these milk al-yamin in Islam are living like kings. This is what Islam teaches about slavery. That's it for this one. Assalamu alaikum.